The price of freedom is death. We're coming to get our check.
Welcome, brothers and sisters, to the Afro Elite YouTube channel. Please subscribe as you guys are coming in. Please make sure you hit that like button as you're coming in. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel again. Make sure you see all of the other content, not just this one. And also leave a like and share this on your various social media platforms because it really does help the channel. Give me 1 second. We're running a little bit late, but that's okay because we're here. We're definitely going to do this. It's a lot to be discussed tonight. So as you guys are coming in, let me know. I like to do like the first caller shout outs, so to speak. So let me know that you're in here. Ty Quinn brother is in here. Thank you very much for being here. Hopefully your day's been good. Ronald is in here. B1 to our brother Ronald. Our brother Torian Reigns is in the building. Did you just leave the links? The Tiger Woods. That's funny. Just leave the links. You have a Tiger Woods hat. Yeah, I'm starting to get into golfing. Maybe I think that might be something I do to relieve the stress. I always thought it's not really fun to watch, but it is actually okay to play. If you actually did golfing, it's actually kind of fun. Just watching it to me is boring. Well, we got some people in here already. How are you guys doing? Hopefully you guys have eaten some good food. You know, hopefully you guys have been spending time with your family, having a good time. I don't know if you guys work today. If you guys work today, make sure you guys get that double pay, the holiday pay, the time and a half, the bonus, whatever the case is. If you guys are off today, I'm glad that you guys are off today. That's pretty good. It's good to see you guys throughout this weekend. There's a couple things we want to discuss, but as we're getting people in the room, and if you guys would, I would appreciate this if you shared this on Twitter, if you shared this on Facebook or whatever, or just told a friend about it, because, you know, more people coming and watching the live actually does help the channel. And the channel's progressing. The channel's doing well, too, so that's a good thing. But as we continue, we said we got our brother Q was Black Star in here. RUC Royalty was in here, is in here. Aboriginal Woman is in here. Adani Coleman, I believe that's how you pronounce your name, is in here. Sweet Great Mom, oh, that's a nice name, is in here. B1 to every single last one of you all. Let me make sure. Blackjack is in here, of course. Let me share this one thing as we're getting more people in, right? Hold on, let me see. Hold on. I just lost it. Hold on, y'all. Hold on, my fault. Where is it? Oh, it's right here. Y'all, take a look at this real quick. I'm gonna just play the video and then I'm gonna leave my commentary on it.
Well, I believe the FBA was founded by an opportunist to stay relevant and to get paid. So I don't spend a lot of time on FBA or ADOS because 10 years from now, I doubt very seriously that you guys will be around or even be relevant. It's an opportunity. That's all it is.
I mean, I understand you got your take on it, you know, and I think both of you guys are smart guys, you know what I mean? And I don't know y'all deep. I ain't trying to get involved. I think if everything
about the liberation of African people, I don't have a beef because I don't have an equal. I'm King Kong consciousness. Continue your comment.
For sure. And you know, as me, I think we all as black people need to stay on code. But so my thing is this: what would be the next step to take?
I won't be on code with anybody saying they're not from Africa. I've already made it clear that when the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy opens, those of you who do belong to those two groups, you will not be allowed in the school because anybody who wants to disidentify from their African history don't need to be anywhere around me. So y'all two groups will not be allowed at school.
I'm not in a group. I'm just on code with all black people around the world. You know, I want to see us all ride together. That's respect on me. You know?
Okay, that was a small little clip right there. Very interesting. Cynthia, you said you see how they're moving non-immigrants into the yeah, and we will talk about that. We're going to be talking about that tonight, actually. I'm glad that you brought that up because that's definitely something that I wanted to discuss tonight. Now, Let me see. Where were that's the somebody say that school not coming. Listen, here's what I'm gonna say. Jackson said that. And B12, we got Dark Angel in here. B12, you sister. Here's the thing. No, and this isn't. I'm not really gonna touch on it because Umar Johnson and Tariq Nasheed have their own personal beef. So I'm not really gonna touch on that. I'm gonna touch on what he said. And this kind of, when I was listening to him, it kind of reminded me of the conversation or debate I had with the Pan-Africanists not that long ago about we all came from Africa, and I don't want to be on code with somebody who doesn't identify as African or denies their African heritage. I'm going to say as FBA, we don't deny our African ties. Of course we have African ties. All Black people have ties to Africa, but you can make the argument that all people kind of have ties to Africa. You got a lot of Asians that have ties to Africa. They don't claim African. Let's ask this question. The next time somebody says, "Oh, you're denying your African heritage," let's look at world history, not just our history. Let's look at world history. In world history, you have it to where people, and this has happened all around the world, people go to different places. They create new lands, new customs, and then they say this is the beginning, the start of a new lineage of people. Somebody says Umar Johnson and Pan-Africanist Strikes Back are clowns, just like that guy you debated. Yeah, he is. To be honest, and this I ain't trying to send this message out, but I would beat Umar Johnson in a debate. As far as Pan-Africanism is concerned, I would beat him in the debate just like I did, because they all have the same talking points, really. But let me say this. We have ties to Africa. There is a percentage of us, and they say between 3 to 5% came over here during the Middle Passage in the transatlantic slave trade, correct? Right? Now, let's say that's 100%. Let's say, for the sake of the argument, that is 100% of the Black people who built this country. That there were for the sake of the argument, there were absolutely no Black people here prior to 1619. And we know for a fact that that's not even documented truth, because when the Europeans first came here, they said they saw Black people. They said that there were signs that Black people from Africa and Black people in the land that's known as America were already doing trade routes and stuff like that, the gold tip spears and everything. They said that they were pretty much late to the game. They already documented that. But for the sake of the argument, we're going to say that we all came here in 1619, which is when they say slavery started. Okay. That was centuries ago. We're in 2022 now. A whole new country has been built. A whole new government has been built. We have whole new customs. You know, our names have been stripped. Our religion has been stripped. The customs that we had back in Africa has been stripped. Some of the countries and customs that we were stripped from don't even exist today in Africa. The lands don't even really exist today. The village, the culture and everything doesn't even really exist today. And people say Africa as if Africa is a country. Africa is an entire continent. We are a brand new people with brand new experiences, brand new customs, under a brand new country with a brand new government. We speak a new language. We eat different food, and every single way and ethnicity can be different. We are different. Now, of course, this isn't to disrespect people from Africa, but we do have biological ties. I don't think anybody can really deny that point. But we are ethnically different people. The same way Caribbeans are ethnically different people. The same way Jamaicans are, Haitians are, Trinidadians, Cubans, all of these other Black people from the Caribbean islands, they are different people. They have a different culture. They have different customs. They speak a different language. They have different flags. If you ask a Jamaican, you know, where are you from? He's not going to say, I'm from Africa. He's going to say, I'm from Jamaica. They don't call themselves African Jamaicans. They don't call themselves Haitian Jamaicans. They are a different group of people. I want you guys to use this analogy, right? Anytime somebody's, oh, you're denying your African heritage, because centuries back, way back, we were in Africa. Some of us. But I'm going to use this analogy, and this is something that you guys can take, I don't know, put your own style to, and then you guys can use this, and this will kill a debate every single time. Africa, number one, is a continent. It is not a country. So if somebody from, let's say, Nigeria, just randomly picking a place, immigrated from Nigeria to Kenya, and they stayed in Kenya, built a family, no, better, they immigrated to a land where there was no country, to an open land in Africa. They built a brand new country and called it Kenya. So these Nigerians went to the land and built it, called it Kenya. This is just an example. And they stayed in Kenya for over 500 years. They speak a different language. They practice different religions and customs and traditions, listen to different music, eat different food. And they even look different. If somebody who was born in Kenya, would they say, okay, you're not really Kenyan, you're really Nigerian, because over like half a millennia ago, your people used to exist in Nigeria? They would say no. When anytime your people go to a new land and build a new country, build a new government, that's the restart of those people. You can, and this is all over the world. You would go to China. You know, there's Japanese people. They all came. You would say Japanese people came from China. You can make that argument, but they would say no. We're Japanese. We've been here for centuries. We've been living on this land for all these years. We're not them. That's the way that's just the way things work. Okay. So, and notice too that argument is only ever told to FBA. That argument's never told to anybody else. Oh, you guys came from Africa. You guys came from Africa. You guys came from Africa. Okay. And then for you to say, we're not coming to your school, they're not going to be allowed in your school. Exactly. And I'm glad that you brought this point up. As Tariq says, Chinese were once African. That is true. You go look up the Aboriginal pictures, the way back in the day pictures of Chinese people. They were very dark-skinned people. Some even today are dark-skinned people with afros. Okay. You can make the argument that everybody came from Africa to some degree. Chinese people came from Africa to some degree. They don't claim African. They came to a new land. They built that new land. They have a new custom, new everything. They identify with what they built. We are the only people in the world that gets told we should not identify with what our people built. Everybody else gets to identify with what their people built. Haitians were, all of these other people, and this is no disrespect at all, they were all slave. Even in Africa, they were colonized, which is pretty much slavery. They were colonized. Okay. They were forced to build their country in Haiti and Jamaica and all of that stuff. They were working under the supervision of white people, but they still claim what their people built. It's only us who say we can't claim what our people built. That's not right. Nobody else has to go through that. Okay. Yes. A lot of these people are African, but they don't claim it. They claim where their people are now. They claim where their heritage and lineage is now. And that's just the way the world is. Okay. So I just saw that and it kind of reminded me. But we got 63 people in the room. I hope you guys are leaving that like button too. And if you guys haven't subscribed, please subscribe as well too. We're getting the subscribers up. So that's a really good thing. But let's move on. And I want to talk about the situation in Jackson, Mississippi real quick. And that's going to tie into something I'm going to talk about a little bit later on in the broadcast. Speaking of which, shout out to the Black Authority because he did a very great educational broadcast on the situation in Jackson, Mississippi. So I would encourage you guys all to go back and watch his broadcast because there was a lot of good information, not just with what he said, but the conversation he was having with the callers as well too. So that was pretty good. But check this out, y'all. Okay.
Look, I can't wash my hands.
People in Jackson, Mississippi are being told to shower with their mouths closed because they don't have access to clean water.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
So what do racism and profit-based interests have to do with a crisis like this? For starters, when water infrastructure was first being built in the US, only the rich could afford to get it. Running water utilities is still a money-making business 200 years later. You see, even though most water systems are owned by local governments, private companies are usually doing the work to treat, repair, and maintain them. In Jackson, that contractor was a company called Siemens. It turned out to be such a bad deal for the city that Jackson won a nearly $90 million settlement over Siemens' botched work. But the roots of this crisis run much deeper. When Mississippi was finally forced to desegregate schools in 1970, white people left for the suburbs and took tax revenue with them. Today, you've got a city that is largely Black, with a quarter of people living in poverty, and a crumbling water service that's been neglected for years. Here's what the city of Jackson's mayor has to say about it.
This is a set of accumulated problems based on deferred maintenance that has not taken place over decades.
And then major flooding finally broke the system. And this is an ongoing problem for communities of color across America. In Flint, Newark, Detroit, and on Native reservations, water is not being treated like a human right. And because companies don't sell water as an essential service, they often prioritize short-term profit over repairs and cleanups. But those costs eventually end up on your water bill. So what's happening in Jackson is part of a systemic failure by this country to keep water affordable and accessible for its most marginalized residents.
Okay. First off, notice that slight little people of color thing that they tried to tie in. They didn't just say Black. They said people of color. Notice that. And it's not people of color who are going through anything in Mississippi right now. Jackson, Mississippi. It's not people of color who go through things in Detroit. It's not people of color who go through things in Flint, Michigan. These are Black people, specifically FBAs. Okay, this is not people of color issue. They do every time it's something with Black people. They always try to throw that little people of color thing in there. Okay, we got a lot of people in the room. Shout out to our brother Ace Keeper, RG Titan, Ahmad Tia, Jay the Informant. I see you guys in here. Be one to every single last one of you guys. Now, like I said, our brother the Black Authority, he did a very, very great educational broadcast on this. So you guys should definitely go look at that. But this is a very bad situation. And I put a lot of information. I know a lot of people want to help. You might not be around the area, but you still want to contribute. You still want to help. So I've looked at certain sources that I would kind of trust to donate. And I've donated. I'm not going to tell anybody how much because I don't believe that that's something that you should really just be. I donated this much. This much is not like a competition, but I'm just letting you know what I would do. I listed some of that stuff in the description. There's different like organizations and nonprofits and things like that. If you guys want to donate to help the people get some water, you know, the situation is really bad. Unfortunately, right now, you can really only get them like bottled drinking water, which is good, even though they don't even have like flushable water. They can't even like flush the toilet or wash their hands or anything. They're being told it's a boil advisory. The thing is, and let me break down like what boiling water does. It says they keep sending them Torians says they keep sending money to a country that us fighting a losing war. Exactly. To be honest, let's just be honest. Ukraine is over. Let's keep it real. Even if Russia left Ukraine today, if they said pack up, take all the tanks, missiles, everything, we're out of there. Ukraine is so severely damaged, broken, and destroyed. Ukraine would take years to even get back to the point where people would be able to like live a normal life in Ukraine anymore. That's how broken it is now. And you're sending money and missiles and billions of dollars worth of aid to a place And there's no saving it. Okay, but you got people struggling here. You have children struggling here. Okay, there are actual children who can't even bathe. They're talking about boiling water. Boiling water gets away some like microbacteria. Sometimes, there is bacteria in the water. That boiling water, it can kill germs and can make the water safe to drink. Filtering water can make the water safe to drink, but it depends on how bad the water is. The water you can't just take like sewer water and then say, I'm gonna just put it in a pot and boil it, and then I can just cook with it. That's just not the way it works. You can't just take like a $30 filter from Walmart and then plug it in anywhere and say, okay, well, this works. The water's been filtered now. It's fixed now. That's not the way water works. They'll tell you, oh, just buy filters. It's more complicated than that. You know what I'm saying? So that's why a lot of the people need help. That a lot of the people need help. This is the situation is so much more beyond just boil the water and everything will be fine. It's way beyond that at this point. Way beyond that. You said the US, hold on, the US Atlantic road. Let me see. The same cops that shoot us, citizens refuse to call ICE on illegal aliens. We will talk about the illegals. We will talk about that later on. Exactly. You're making a good point. Now, Jay the Informant says, Joe Biden sent money and resources to Ukraine, and Mississippi got a phone call by Biden, that idiot. Now, check this out. Oh, Beatzilla's in here. Salute to Beatzilla. Y'all check out my, we're not a group, but check out my YouTube partners, kind of, I guess, the YouTube group. That's, Torian, Black Alpha, Beatzilla. We've all done collabs and stuff like that. If you guys haven't seen those, you definitely want to. It's a lot of good information. But speaking of Joe Biden, speaking of that man, now I do got to say, it was like a week or so ago where Joe Biden, I guess, announced that he was going to be creating some type of program for student debt relief. It's like $10,000, and then it's like $20,000 if you apply for some other type of grant or something, which I'm not hating on, but I want you to keep in mind that Joe Biden said he was going to get rid of everything. And then he's coming here and he's saying, I can get rid of $10,000 worth. Okay, that's breadcrumbs in comparison to what you said you were going to do. But I bring this up to say, remember how Biden sexuals, they were all over like, oh my God, look at Joe Biden. See, we told you he was going to come through. We told you didn't listen. We told you. Now, let's look at what Joe Biden has to say about the Mississippi crisis right here. And I shared this on my Twitter. Some of you guys might have seen it already. But Biden says, Mississippi governor has to act on Jackson water crisis. Jackson, Mississippi, AP. Okay, this happened a couple of days ago. This was out a couple of days ago. President Joe Biden said his administration has offered Mississippi, quote, every single thing available, end quote, to address the water crisis that has gripped the state's capital, and called on the governor to fix the problems. Quote, we've offered every single thing available to Mississippi. The governor has to act. There's money to deal with this problem. We've given them EPA. We've given them everything there is to offer. Biden said late Thursday. Okay. The president, end quote, and then he said late Thursday. The president was asked whether he would visit Mississippi, and he said no. No. He said no plans at this point. Biden isn't even going to come to Mississippi. Okay. Biden said he has been talking to folks in Mississippi, including the mayor, Democratic Akawi Antor Lumumba. Okay. Forgive me if I'm butchering the names. You guys know I'm getting better. He did not specifically say whether he had spoken to the governor, Republican Tate Reeves, Residents in Jackson have long struggled with a faulty water system that frequently requires them to boil their water before using it. So you guys know the situation with Jackson, Mississippi. It did just come about in a couple in 1 week after the flood. They make it seem like, oh, this happened after the flood and whatnot. No, Jackson, Mississippi has been going through water struggles for the longest time. Okay. Now, it continues to say they are already under a boil water order before flooding from the Pearl River exacerbated long-standing problems at one of the city's 2 water treatment plants this week. Okay, the city only has 2 water treatment plants, outdated. Okay, that doesn't get maintained, so much so that they've been boiling water before this is going on. Before the water even reached this point of a crisis, they've already had to boil water. That's just my input in that. Okay. Now it continues to say, leaving many residents without any water at all. Reeves declared a state of emergency. The National Guard has been called, and residents have been lining up at water distribution points to get bottled water for drinking and water for flushing their toilets. Biden approved an emergency declaration directing his administration to surge federal assistance to the area. It continues to say, city figures show that as Wednesday morning, 80% of the water system customers have little to no water. It is unclear how many had been substantially restored as of Thursday. Federal Emergency Management Agency Administrator Danny Criswell, I believe that's how it's pronounced, Danny Criswell plans to visit the state Friday. Okay. Joe Biden said he's not visiting, though. Joe Biden said that's y'all problem. Let's see what y'all saying in the comments. Torian says, meanwhile, people like Britt Reeves was caught up in Mississippi welfare scandal. Exactly. This is they know where that money is going. I want you guys to really think. You know for a fact that this is happening specifically to black people and black people only, because things like this don't happen anywhere in America except where black people are. Flint, Michigan, Detroit, Jackson, Mississippi, all of these all of these crises and stuff like that, they hit black people. You don't see this hitting the immigrants. You don't see this hitting the Native Americans. You don't see this hitting none of those other people, but you see this hitting us all the time. Now, reading some more of the comments, RTD mentioned that the mayor seemed calm as hell because he was well taken care of. Oh yeah, I'm sure the mayor and all the politicians are taken care of. I'm sure they are. Now, one thing I'm thinking of, this happens very easily, and they don't show that much concern because this is happening to black people. Now, if Jackson, Mississippi was a group where it's mixed black people, and you had your MDs, and then you melanin deficient, and you had Asians, and you had all of these other groups of people, it would be taken way more seriously. But no, it's just black people, so they're putting it off like it's not even that big of a deal. It's barely trending, to be honest. And one thing I want to point out, where are all these liberals that claim they cared about black people? And I keep having to bring this up because too often black people face short-term memory where they feel like, oh my God, they see our pain now. They see our pain. All of the liberals that was out there talking about Black Lives Matter when George Floyd was murdered, all of them who were saying that, they're nowhere here now. They're nowhere around now. Okay? This is barely getting any sort of traction except for us. Only black people are talking about this issue. I want you guys to keep that in mind. When you have all these non-black people claim that they care so much about black people, when black people go through things that don't have anything to do with them, they're never around. Okay? Where are the black and brown coalitions? Where are the brown people who claim they want to help? Shout out to the super chat. Biden has spent 35% of his presidency on vacation. Yeah, he has. And I believe probably a good 50% of his presidency has been signing bills to other people. Now, Biden says that he's done everything he could. There's nothing he can do. It's the governor's problem. There's nothing he can do. He tried. He helped. I'm not going to visit not Mason's. I'm not going to visit Jackson, Mississippi because I have other things to do. That's y'all problem. So people say, well, Biden tried. Biden did give assistance. You can't say Biden didn't. But did Biden, let me show you guys something. Let me go show you guys something. Where is it? Where did I put this? Oh, okay, hold on. The link's right. Where? Oh, hold on. Oh, it's right here. Hold on. I gotta get that up. I'm closing the ads, y'all. There's a lot of ads. Did you guys see this? Okay. The U.S., let me get this off the screen. U.S. approves 1.1 arms package for Taiwan, angering China. Okay. This is them giving money, billions of dollars to China. I'm just gonna read the headline. You know, it goes down as to they've given all this money to China and things about China and the beef going on. This happened earlier in the year. This happened all the way in March. Okay. So in case you guys haven't known that, because that's gotten swept under the rug, they've given billions of dollars, billions of and you can look it up, but they won't really tell you because they'll just tell you about the aid, like $40 billion in aid. Remember when the situation when Ukraine was really, really at the top of everybody's charts? Okay. It was every single week you would turn on the news. Biden is signing another $1 billion like stimulus package or whatever to Ukraine. Another $1 billion. Biden is money Mayweather. The way Biden is just throwing his money. He's literally just throwing his money at Ukraine. Here's another check. Here's another check. Another check. When they needed to come over here, yeah, sure, come over here. Immigrants, illegal aliens who are in Mexico, they need to come over here. Yeah, come over here. And why don't you give them $500,000 each too? That way they can start off. You know, you got to help the buffer class. When Afghanistan, when he pulled the troops out of Afghanistan and then the Taliban took over the government in Afghanistan, he gave them billions of aid and he bought them over here. I'm talking about there is no limit to the money he is spending. He is spending money frivolously when it comes to foreign aid, whether they're here and he's trying to help them out here or whether they're in their homeland. This is what Biden has been doing his entire presidency. Asians say, hey, we're getting beaten up by the blacks. We need help. Okay, well, here, let me sign this for you. Okay. You got the LGBT saying, we need help too for, reparations or something because we couldn't get married years ago. Okay, well, let me give you some money. It's just money and money and money and money, and he's giving it to everybody else. Then when a legitimate crisis happens in America, Biden's all like, hey, look, thoughts and prayers go to you guys. What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? That's the governor's problem. He fixed that. Now, he doesn't tell Vladimir Zelensky, who's the president of Ukraine, hey, your situation with Russia, that's your problem. He's telling Black America, this is the president of America, telling Black Americans, hey, look, that's the governor's issue to fix that problem. Don't expect me to come and save y'all. Don't even expect me to come and visit y'all. I don't even got the time in my schedule to come and visit y'all. I'm on vacation. Okay? I'm not leaving early for y'all Negroes. I'm not doing that. Now, Vladimir Zelensky, you're not even a part of NATO. You're not an American citizen. Nobody over there is an American citizen, but he gets he's just running his pockets. He just opened up the door to the vault and say, yo, go in, take everything you can carry. Anything you can carry, y'all come in. I'm gonna send National Guards to help y'all carry some of this money out of here because I know it's a lot for y'all hands. That's what he's doing to them, but for us, it's you know, I tried. I sent a couple water bottles or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It ain't too much I can do. I visit y'all. Y'all want me to come visit y'all? No, I'm not gonna do that. No. But thoughts and prayers go to you guys. Make sure you guys register to vote for me again. Because if you don't vote for me, you're not black. Remember that. You know, the way Biden is treating black people, I'd be surprised if there's many black people alive to vote for him next time he tries to run. Okay. See what you guys are saying here. It says go back in time to the It says go back in time and prevent Reagan from signing that document to let them come here. That was 1986 when he signed it. Yeah, Reagan did that too. Let me see. Yeah, run me my money, cut the check. Absolutely, most definitely. It says, what FEA is going to do about immigrants? That's a real question. Okay, all right. There's certain things that we shouldn't just be saying. You know, we can strategize, but there's certain things that we shouldn't be saying. We got a lot of people in here. Happy Labor Day to everybody. Please make sure you leave a like. Please make sure you leave a like. So that was Biden's thing. Biden is too focused on the situation with immigrants. Now, speaking of immigrants, I want you guys to see this. This is what we got to go through in Chicago. Okay. As 50 more, highlight the word more, immigrants arrive in Chicago by bus from Texas, Lightfoot asks for donations. Okay. You guys, some people have asked me why I do not like Lightfoot. Man, I cannot wait for her to get up out of here. Now, it goes on to say, and this is by WTTW, right? Okay. Another 50 immigrants arrived in Chicago on Sunday after being bused from Texas by Republican Governor Greg Abbott, Mayor Lightfoot announced. The immigrants arrived in Chicago about 4 p.m. Sunday at Union Station. Lightfoot said at a hostily scheduled news conference, their arrival brings a total number of immigrants bused to Chicago by Abbott since Wednesday to 125 people. That's 125 people, okay, in a week to Chicago. This is Wednesday, and then you had another 50 being bought Sunday. Okay. So you guys know. Yep. So there was already 75 who were here since Wednesday, and they were like, oh, let me just give another 50 since Wednesday. Now, this was made on the 4th. Okay. How my new neighbors, oh, man, I don't know. I'm trying to get them up out of here. I'm trying my best to get them up out of here. I can't tell you my plan, but I'm trying to get them up out of here. The group arrived. Let me see. The group arrived Sunday was made up of mostly families. Now, they say things like this, mostly families, to kind of woo the hearts of people who are reading this, because you're reading this like, dude, they shouldn't even be over here. But they're mostly families and little kids and sick grandmas who use canes and can barely walk, and hardworking Mexican men who just want to work for their, like, they say stuff like that to kind of woo the hearts and pull on the heartstrings, but that's not working. Okay, now let's start over. The group that arrived Sunday was made up of mostly families. Their country of origin was not clear. Lightfoot said their country of origin was not clear. Lightfoot said, really? Their country of origin was not clear. Where would they come from? Where are they coming from? What do you mean their country of origin is? They're coming. Come on, they're not clear. That's them. That's so you know. That's her trying to be all like, well, we don't know if they're all from Mexico. We can't say they're all from that. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. You don't have a bunch of Russian immigrants. You don't have a bunch of Ukrainian immigrants. You don't have a bunch of European immigrants. You don't have a bunch of Chinese immigrants. I mean, even though there's Chinese immigrants, but not in that bus situation. You don't have a lot of them coming here. Okay. These are Hispanic aliens who are coming. Okay. That's what they are. Oh, their country of origin is not. Yes, it is. Okay. Lightfoot is full of BS. Anyway, goes on to say, Lightfoot again blasted Abbott for sending the immigrants to Chicago and called him to cooperate and collaborate with the leaders of the city where he is sending the migrants. Okay, illegal aliens, plug. Which include Chicago, New York, and Washington, D.C. Now, TBA has talked about what they're doing in New York as well, too. So the same thing they're doing in New York, they're doing in Washington, D.C., and the same thing they're doing in Washington, D.C., they're doing in Chicago. Okay? Quote, he is manufacturing a human crisis, end quote, Lightfoot said. City officials launched on Sunday a website to allow Chicagoans to donate supplies and money to help immigrants. Okay, and this is the plug for their little website. Those interested in volunteering to help immigrants can register online. Okay. Continues to say, Lightfoot, who is running for re-election, please. Lightfoot, who is running for re-election, has reestablished the chance to welcome the immigrants to Chicago and to blast Abbott as quote, un-American. Okay, end quote. Lightfoot's campaign has sent 2 emails since the first bus arrived, toting her response and soliciting contributions. He professes to be, quote, he professes to be a Christian, end quote, Lightfoot said about Abbott. Quote, this does not reflect Christianity in the teachings of the Bible that I know, end quote. Lightfoot, please. Okay? Nowhere in the Bible does it talk about bringing people illegally to your country. That's not in the Bible. Okay? Abbott, a Republican, who is running, and they say a Republican because they want to make it, oh, Abbott is just this bad guy because he's a Republican. Democrats are the good guys, vote for us. Abbott, a Republican who is running for re-election, has blamed Biden's immigration policies for, quote, overwhelming border communities in Texas. It is Biden's fault. It is Biden's fault. Okay. Chicago has long protected undocumented immigrants. That's a problem. The city status is so-called sanctuary cities. That's a problem. Back to 1985. That's a problem. There's so many problems right here. When former mayor Harold Washington issued an executive order, they're plugging Harold Washington to try to make it seem like this is a black and brown thing right here, because Harold Washington was the first black mayor of Chicago. So they're trying to make it seem like it's a black and brown thing right here. That's why they're doing that. Because it's not like it was a whole bunch of illegal immigrants coming over here from Mexico back in Harold Washington's time. But anyway, issued an executive order prohibiting city employees from enforcing federal immigration laws. Okay. It became a law in 2006, reaffirmed after the 2016 election of the former president Donald Trump, and expanded in 2021. Yes, you're right. A lot of people have said that there's, and I can't, you got to be careful. I have to be careful. You can say what you want to say, but I have to be careful with what I say. But a lot of people have suspicions about the passing away of Harold Washington. It was very, including myself, just question everything. It was very, very suspicious how he just passed away like that. It was very suspicious. Okay. A lot of people in the chat room. Let me see. Songwriter says, New York does not feel like home. These past few years, I have moved from Harlem to get a break from the gentrification, only to now deal with the tethers in the Bronx. Yeah. They're putting the pressure on FBA all over the nation, not just New York, DC, Chicago. You got crisis going on in Mississippi, all over the nation. They're putting the pressure on us. Okay, this is why it's very important for us to be on code and work together. That's the only way we're going to be able to survive these crises that are happening to us. Police mass incarcerate us citizens in Chicago all over the sanctuary cities. Don't you think that's interesting? I did a broadcast about the corruption in Chicago, and I talked about the police brutality, black people getting locked up for crimes they didn't commit, all of these things happening to black people. But this is the sanctuary city for undocumented, you can't even really call them citizens because they're not citizens. Okay, undocumented aliens is really what it is. To call them undocumented citizens is really an oxymoron. Okay. Reggie says, Governor Abbott has been playing games, Texas holding them with sanctuary cities. Exactly. Texas is, if you Google what a sanctuary city is, Texas doesn't technically qualify. They haven't officially said that they are a sanctuary city, but they act just like a sanctuary city. They're a sanctuary city in everything but name. Okay. So maybe he can't take them all, but best believe it's not like Texas is so anti-immigration. They're not at all. Okay. They would rather see this land mass sunk to the ocean floor next to the Titanic instead of giving us our tangibles. Yeah, they would. They have it so twisted in their mind. They would rather see the country burn, never to return again, than for us to live with equity and prosperity, than to us to live in a system of justice. They would rather have the corrosive system that they have now, and everything gets ruined, okay, than us to live in actual justice. Okay. He says, I'm not sure if you heard about Jamal Green, third-party candidate, challenging Lori Lightfoot. Lightfoot hates the brother. He has been crushing some of her speeches, calling her out. Funny you should mention that. I have heard of Jamal Green. I've actually met Jamal Green quite a few times. Jamal Green knows me personally. So, yeah, me and Jamal Green have been talking. So, yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah, so me and him we've been talking about things that we could be doing. So yeah, Jamal Green, yeah, shout out to Jamal Green. He's a good brother from, I just met him, but we've been having some pretty good conversations on some things that we should be getting done in the city. But speaking of Chicago, let me see. I want to share this with you. I got to get this off to share. Oh, hold on. I always forget to do this. I always forget to do that thing. I'm always forgetting that. Please make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe. Subscribe, like, and share. Please make sure you guys do that. Black Voltron is in the building. Be one to Black Voltron. Okay. Let's see. Now, we're talking about Chicago. Lori Lightfoot is going on talking about the immigrants. Let's take a look at what happened over the weekend. All right. 7 dead, at least 41 wounded in Chicago shooting over Labor Day weekend. All right. And this came out just today. Nearly 50 people have been shot over. Nearly 50 people have been shot over. Shot so far over the long Labor Day weekend in Chicago, with 7 people killed in the violence and more than 40 wounded, or 7 people. I guess I got to find a substitute word for the K word. The first fatal shooting of the weekend was reported on 4400 block of West Jackson around 6:30 p.m. Friday. According to the police, a 24-year-old man was standing on the sidewalk when 2 vehicles approached and multiple gunmen opened fire, striking him multiple times in the back. Okay. The man was pronounced passed away. I'm going to say that at the scene, and investigation remains underway. Just after midnight, in the 1300 block North Hudson. I'm sorry. Officers responding to a call of shots fired, discovering a 33-year-old man on the ground with a gunshot wound in his chest, police said. Now, pay very close attention to this aspect right here. The man was rushed to a area hospital where he was later pronounced not among us anymore. Police said no suspects are in custody. The area 3 detectives are investigating. Notice this is a theme. No suspects in custody. Remember last week when I said be careful out here because that's a tactic that they like to use. No suspects in custody. All of these mass shootings, we just have no suspects. We have no idea who's doing all of this stuff. I want you guys to pay attention to that. All right. Now, it goes on to say, approximately at 2:52 a.m. Saturday at 1600 block of South Rachine. I don't know why it's hard for me to pronounce that. Another fatal shooting was reported. A 22-year-old man was found laying on the street after having been shot in the chest and in the arm, police said. He was taken to the University of Chicago Medical Center, where he was pronounced unalive. According to authorities, yet again, no suspects are in custody and detectives are investigating. Oh, wow. That's very interesting. Another shooting took place around 3:50 p.m. Saturday near the 700 block of East in east of the 700 block of East 103rd Street. Okay. A 27-year-old man was shot in the chest. I want you guys to notice that these are like execution style shootings going on here. These aren't just, I got shot in the leg, I walked away, I saw what happened. Notice that all of these are confirmed execution style shootings going on. All of these shot in the chest, shot in the chest, shot in the chest. Okay. It's almost like these are trained shooters real quick. You think. Okay, and these are happening to young brothers, of course, young black men, of course. Shot in the chest and arm and finger after getting into an argument with someone at a gas station. He was taken to an area hospital and later pronounced unalive. A 29-year-old, notice the ages too. A 29-year-old man was fatally shot after the police said it was a verbal altercation at about 11:15 at 6600 block in South Evans. Okay. When officers arrived, they found the man who had been shot in the neck and the arm, and he was pronounced unalive at the scene, according to authorities. Here, yet again, look at the theme. No suspects are in custody and police are investigating. How you could play a drinking game and drink to how many times you've heard no suspects are in custody in these situations. Okay. But they're investigating, quote unquote. On Sunday, 2 people unalive after they were among 4 people shot in the city South Side neighborhood Sunday night. Originally, authorities said 4 men were shot at approximately 6:48 p.m. as they stood in front of a home in the 8600 block of South Kingston Avenue. So people just standing around, and then all of a sudden these mysterious drive-by shootings occur, and a lot of these people are unalive. And most of these people don't get taken into custody. It says all 4 were taken to local hospitals with gunshot wounds, but police later said 18-year-old was struck multiple times throughout his body, was pronounced unalive at the University of Chicago Hospital, and a 20-year-old was shot in the buttocks and stomach, unalive at Christ Hospital. Another 18-year-old was shot in the forearm, thigh, and was taken to an area hospital in fair condition. A 20-year-old was shot in the abdomen and last listed in fair condition at another area hospital. Here it is. Police are investigating remains underway. Recently, a man wielding an axe was shot in Cade, I'm gonna say that, Cade, by a security guard outside of the Greektown dispensary Monday. Okay, well, that has really nothing to do with that. But anyway, police said the incident happened this really doesn't have anything to do with the theme, but okay, police said it happened at 10 a.m., blah, 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 blah. Okay. So, and then they pretty much give a rundown about everything. But I just wanted to show you guys, this is what happened allegedly through, this is what happened. Yeah, in Acts. Actually, let me look into that story. Let me look into that. Let me actually look into that. Okay. Most recently, a man wielding an axe was shot and Cade by a security guard outside of West Town Dispensary Monday. Police said the incident happened just after 10 a.m. at the 200 block South Holsted. Okay, where a man got into a verbal altercation outside of the business with a 37-year-old man working security. Okay. The man ultimately began swinging an axe at the security guard before being struck in the leg. Quote, a struggle ensued and the victim fired shots, striking the offender, police said in a statement. The man with the axe was taken to Stroger Hospital, where he was pronounced not alive. The man working security taken to Northwestern Memorial Hospital in good condition, authorities said. Okay, this really doesn't have anything to do with it. It's really, it kind of seems left, but that's an interesting story right there. That's a very interesting story. Okay, just dudes get into an art. Where do you get an axe from? Swinging an axe. This isn't. Who brings an axe to fights anymore? That seems weird to do. I don't know if he was going through some type of mental crisis, like mental health crisis or whatever the case is, but an axe. Esmont said, first off, thank you for the super chat. Deleted is another good word. That is a good word. I like that. And it's a substitute for the word D. I like that word. I'm gonna start using that. Thank you very much. Always helpful. Now it says, peace and prosperity to our brother Torian, brother Voltron. Yes, brother. Peace to everybody in this room. We got a lot of people in here. Please make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you guys have not done so. Find that very interesting. I find that very, very interesting. Exactly what's going on with Chicago. Now, they say all of these mysterious shootings going on, people getting deleted in Chicago. And of course, they're going to give the implication that this is black on black crime, like they always do. Oh, you know, Chicago, they just, you know how niggas be. They just be tearing up over the weekend. They just don't know how to control themselves. But I want you guys to remember this situation. Hold on. Let me pull this up real quick. Not that situation. Where's the situation? And I just found it. Hold on. Oh, there it is. This situation. Now, what's interesting about this situation, you know what? I'm going to tell you guys later. Chicago, now, this happened in August, the beginning of August. Chicago police finds 5 guns, 1,000 rounds is really over 1,000 rounds, 1,000 rounds of ammo, and critiques of recent mass shootings after man fired shotgun into Inglewood Park. Okay. This is the Mayano man, the recessive MD, melanin deficient man, who went from a west suburb about an hour away, okay, and went to a mostly, because Inglewood is pretty much black. It's pretty much all black, to be honest. It's like 90+% black, into a park, and then just started busting off a shotgun. Thankfully, he didn't actually hurt anybody. Nobody was actually harmed, but that wasn't his intention. Okay. His intention. Now they're trying to cover this up too. They tried to cover this situation up by saying, oh, he's been studying under a mass shooter, the mass shooter right here. Okay. Didn't he write a manifesto? Yeah, he did have like a small manifesto. he did have like a small manifesto about recent. It wasn't his own thing, but it was just his thoughts about recent mass shooters that were going on. Okay. Now, he went from his neighborhood an hour into the black neighborhood of Chicago to start doing these quote unquote mass shootings. Now, they keep saying the mass shootings, because what they don't want to do is they don't want to racialize this incident. They don't want to make it seem like this was a racial targeting, but this is exactly what it was. Two, mind you, anytime incidents like this happen, they always point it out like, oh, it's a lone wolf, a lone wolf, a lone wolf. Investigators are saying it's a lone wolf. They instantly say, oh, lone wolf, lone wolf. They don't ever say that when they don't know that the person is a non-black person. When there could be a black person involved, they don't use the term lone wolf. Lone wolf is never involved when it's a black person. Only when it's a non-black person, only when it's a man, old man, then it's, oh, a lone wolf. They always drag that out. But what's interesting about this, and I'm gonna just read a little bit. I've touched on this story once before. A suburban man who fired a shotgun into a Chicago park early Thursday had 5 firearms, over 1,000 rounds of ammunition, and handwritten notes about recent mass shootings, as well as critiques of the police involvement in those shootings. Prosecutors said Friday. Quote, "Those are war weapons in the car," end quote. Judge Amari Ahmed said after hearing the allegations among Alexander Progorny, I believe that's how it's pronounced, Progny, 29, during a bail hearing on Friday afternoon. She ordered him to pay a full $300,000 cash bail to get out of jail on electric monitoring. Okay. Chicago police, received a shot spotter alert. Now, this is very important, okay? Because a lot of people don't really know what these shot spotter alerts are. But we'll get into that in a second. Shot spotter alert after a single shot was fired at Morin Park. Okay, and this is the address. Thursday, according to Pragorny's arrest report. All right. No one was at the park at the time. Officers monitoring surveillance cameras saw the man get out of the minivan, fired one shot into the park, get back in the minivan. Prosecutor Stephen Ahmed, I believe that's how it's pronounced, said. Okay. Chicago cops stopped Pragord the dude Pragorny. I don't know why I cannot pronounce that. It's like a tongue twister for me. At the scene, and found a loaded handgun in his pants pocket, according to the arrest. On his minivan's driver's seat, there was a semi-automatic shotgun loaded with silver rounds and an AR-15 LRWC rifle, according to CPD inventory records. And Ahmed, I believe that's how it's pronounced. Ahmed. Okay. 2 more handguns were found inside a bucket on the minivan's passenger seat, Ahmed said. Police also found well over 1,000 rounds of ammunition and various calibers inside the van, Ahmed said, adding to all 5 firearms, said police recovered were loaded. The CPD report said officers also found more than 300 spent shell casings inside the vehicle. Investigators also found handwritten notes, including a list of guns that Pragorny did not have, places he could get those weapons, and Pragorny thought about his dog in the Uvalde mass shooting, according to Ahmed. Now, here's something, two important things that you guys should be paying attention to with this. Can't read. Hey, man, I need to get a new monitor. This is actually hurting my eyes. My eyes are it's very, very small. It's very, very small. I need to get a new monitor. I keep putting it off. I'm going to get one this weekend. And to be honest, this font is incredibly small too. I'm literally straining my eyes to read. So actually, I would appreciate a thank you for the sacrifice, because I'm going to need glasses by the time I'm 30 years old, because I'm trying to work for my people. But anyway, haters going to hate. Haters going to hate. Anyway, one important thing that I wanted to say, Chicago police received a shot spotter alert. Now, this is one thing that you really don't hear in the other article that I read to you guys. Let me take this off the screen for a minute, give my eyes a little break. Haters. Okay, a shot spotter alert, you guys can look this up yourself. What that is like a radar that goes off when it picks up a gunshot. So if somebody shoots something anywhere within the residence of the radar, within the range of the radar that can pick it up, what the shot spotter can do is the shot spotter, not only does it pick up the gunshot, it also picks up pretty much where the shot was fired from. Now, that's something that you really don't hear be used, because they don't want to use it that often. They use it when they want to, and they don't when they don't want to. Okay, it's all over the city too, mind you. So when the shootings and stuff like that happen, and people are calling the police like, "Oh my God," and police are like, "Where are you? We can't find you." Blah 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 blah. When they say all of that stuff, the police know, they have so much advanced technology. These police know where the shot is coming from. They can pretty much tell by the shot spotter if the shot was like a shotgun, if it was an assault rifle, if it was a handgun. They can tell all of these things before even arriving to the scene, before even really getting the call. Before, mind you, there was nobody at the park when that person made that shot. So it was a shot spotter that picked it up. They're all over the city. So when you have shots going off at this time, I want you guys to really think like, that seems very interesting, because you guys have shot spotters all over the place, but these shot spotters don't really seem to work in the convenience of black people. When these black people get mysteriously shot like execution style, you think these black people who were getting shot by trained soldiers, the one shot to the chest, and some type of drive-by shooting, no suspects caught. The shot spotter doesn't catch on anything. Two, there's a whole bunch of, especially in like the South Side and the West Side, and really where black people are, there's a whole bunch of traffic cameras all over the place. These traffic cameras are so very precise that even if you cover your license plate, the traffic cameras are so precise that the traffic cameras can actually catch your VIN number. Okay, if you're speeding, you can be speeding going 20, 30 miles per hour. The traffic camera can take a picture and then unblur the picture and have a clear, precise picture of what your license plate looked like, even in the middle of the night. There's traffic cameras and shot spotter alerts all over the place, but somehow there's 50 people get shot in Chicago, and most of the people don't go. Most of the cops don't get suspects for these people. They're just standing there, deletions after deletions after deletions, but Chicago police don't have any suspects. Doesn't that seem kind of weird? Now they're going out of their way. Lord Lightfoot, this is what's happening over the weekend. People are getting deleted left and right over the weekend. And Lori Lightfoot is telling Chicagoans that they need to donate to immigrants coming over here. I want you to think, these things aren't happening to the immigrants, the undocumented immigrants that are coming over here. Even saying undocumented immigrant is really an oxymoron. These undocumented aliens that are coming over here, they don't have to deal with the same crisis that FBA have to deal with in Chicago. I want you guys to really think about that. Really, really think about, doesn't that seem kind of weird? Doesn't that seem weird? And to circle this, to bring everything full circle, to bring every single thing I've said full circle, I want you to think these things happen easily because of things like gentrification. Okay. I've said this a while ago. They are trying to gentrify Chicago. They're trying to gentrify Chicago. They're trying to gentrify New York. They're trying to gentrify pretty much every place where black people are, FBA people are. Okay. They're doing it when you segregate a place. I want you guys to think about this. When you segregate a place and you deprive that place of resources, the crime is going to go up. This happens all across the world. This isn't a black culture thing. This isn't even an American thing. This happens all around the world. Okay, so you segregate people, you deprive the people of resources, you pretty much force the people out too. And then when that comes out, then here you come with the melanin deficient people. The Mayanotes come back in town. After you squeeze the black residents out of the population, then here they come back in the population. And then the population is booming again. And they do this all around the country. And I believe they're doing this with Jackson, Mississippi right now. They've been depriving Jackson, Mississippi of resources for a while, clean water for a while, for a good minute. And now they're going through a crisis, and they're really not doing too much to help them. What they're trying to do is they're trying to make the conditions so unlivable, so unlivable, where the black population, they pretty much get forced out of the town. And then next thing you know, they come there, they clean everything up. Then here comes the MDs coming right back into the neighborhood, and black people can't live back in there. Okay. The same thing they're doing with the south side of Chicago. Now I want to show you something before I forget. Let me bring that up. Yeah, they don't care about Mississippi. Of course they don't. No, they don't. Not at all. Let me bring up something else. Hold on. Let me see. Notice too, with the situation. Now, first they called this a lone wolf. What I find very interesting is I had to go through articles and articles and articles to find a picture of the man. If you Google this story, you will have to search near and far to find his picture. How I found this picture is I had to search this up, go through several articles, unsuccessfully finding his picture. I had to go to Google Images and then do some searching on Google Images to find the picture, and then that linked me to an article that actually had his picture. I want you guys to think about a tactic that they do. What they do is they'll bring up the article, and then they'll bring up the picture in the article, and then a week or so when the article dies down, they'll remove the picture or they'll remove the name. There's been so many articles that I wanted to reference, and then I'm all like, oh, remember that one time? And then I'm searching for that article, and the article's just not there. They'll sometimes just remove the entire article ever existing. The article, they'll just completely take it off the internet or their website. Or they'll remove the picture, just like this dude. If you go through a lot of articles, you will go through a lot of articles, and the articles won't even have his name. They won't have his name or his picture. Now, when it comes to a black person, when they do something, they make sure they'll keep the mugshot up, they'll keep the picture up, they'll keep the article up. They'll make sure that they keep the information relevant so you can find out what the person looks like, what the person's name is. When it comes to these people, they'll bring it up in the beginning, and then when the story kind of dies down a little bit, then they'll go back in, they'll update it, and they'll take the name out, and they'll take the picture out. Okay, they do that often. But let me bring up something else that we should be paying attention to. Not just the shot spotters. You guys can look that up if you want to. But also look up the last statement. Pragorny's father. Let me see. No, was it? Was it? It's not. Okay, it's this one right here. Investigators also found handwritten notes, including a list of guns that Pragorny did not have. Places he could have gotten those weapons. Places he could have gotten those weapons. He could get those weapons. I mean, he could get those weapons. Places he could get those weapons. That's interesting. Where are the places he could get those weapons? That leads me to believe this dude had all this ammunition. This dude rolled up to the black part of Chicago like he was the damn Punisher from Marvel Comics. And nobody is talking about where is he getting these guns from. Now, when it comes to black people doing anything in Chicago, it's always, oh my God, where are they getting the guns from? We need stricter guns. Oh my God. But where is he getting? Because he's not actually from Chicago, mind you. He's not from Chicago. He drove to Chicago. He's from a south suburb, like an hour or so away from Chicago. Okay. But who assisted him? They mentioned it briefly at the end, but they don't touch on where did he get these guns from? Who knew about this? I want you guys to pay attention to that, because every time one of these people go and do these crimes, just exactly like Peyton Gendron. Exactly just like Peyton Gendron. Okay. Now, you're saying Indiana. People say that. They don't just get them from Indiana. They don't. First off, and I've been to gun shops in Indiana. These gun shops in Indiana, they are also mayonnaise owned. They are MD owned. Okay. They own it, so they control who gets them. And the thing is, even though you still need a, let me let you guys know something. When you guys buy a gun as an Illinois resident in Indiana, which they don't allow anymore, or they don't allow that anymore. Okay, they stopped that. So you can't be an Illinois resident and be all like, I'm gonna just go to Indiana and buy a gun. They stopped that. Okay. So what happens? What used to happen is Illinois resident would go to, and this is any gun shop, period. You would go to the gun shop. They would go through your gun license that you would have to have, and you only keep your gun license if you are in a sound mind. If you're in a sound mind, if you have any criminal background, or if you get caught doing something, selling drugs, doing anything illegal, felony, or whatever, they take your license away from you. Okay, so they take it, they run the background. You purchase the weapon on the spot, and then they do a background check. You sign off on it, and then they do a background check. When the background check comes complete, then you can come pick the weapon up. And sometimes they'll actually ship the weapon to another place, and then you go there and you sign more paperwork. It's a lot of paperwork involved in legally buying firearms. Okay. And the more, especially as a black person, the more firearms you get, the more they be all like, okay, well, this person keeps coming back and forth. Oh, you got a shotgun last time, you got a handgun this time, you got an AR-15, you buy a bulletproof vest. All of these things Peyton Gendron had. He had vests. He was very specific with the vest he had to have. He had this gun, that gun. He had the camera set up on the rifle. All of this stuff. This dude was locked and loaded, the camouflage and everything. He had all of that stuff, okay? As you guys are getting that stuff, people looks at the gun owners, the people selling you the guns, which they do have a right to not sell you the gun. And they do that to black people often. They'll look like, I don't know, you seem like you're just up to no good. I'm refusing to sell guns to thugs. I don't like selling guns to thugs. They've had experiments, social experiments, where they have black actors go into gun stores, and they're all like, I would like to buy this gun right here. And they're like, I don't know, I don't sell to people like you. You look like a thug. And then the cameras come out like, sir, why did you not sell the gun to the African American? They do that stuff all the time. Okay, so I want you guys to know that there's even discrimination when it comes to buying firearms and buying artillery and weapons when it comes to, you know, the NRA and stuff. Don't think they're just selling guns to any and everybody. And even if they were, there's still a background check. Now, what people allege too, what happens is the impression is killing people. The impression, exactly. Thank you. Now, what people allege happens too is they call straw man gun purchasing, and we should be familiar with what a straw man gun purchase is, because that's the same type of gun purchase that Kyle Rittenhouse, KKK Kyle, he bought his gun from, and he confessed to this, where I can't legally buy a gun, so I will pay somebody who can legally buy a gun, and then they get the gun and they give it to me. I'm giving you, if the gun costs $1,000, I'll give you $1,200. You buy the gun. Say that the gun, and then all you have to do, so your name is, because when you buy a gun, your name is registered to that gun. Your gun license number is registered to that gun. So that means each and every single time a round goes off on that gun, they can trace that back to you. They can trace that back to you. So what people do is people say, okay, I'm going to buy the gun. I'm going to give you the gun on the low, and then I'm going to report the gun stolen. So that way, when you do whatever you do with the gun, it can't get tied back to me because I've already reported the gun stolen. So I don't know who has the gun. I'm not responsible for the gun anymore because I've reported the gun stolen. Because I can't sell, you can't sell a gun. Different states work differently, but I can't just give the gun to somebody who can't have it. So that's like a little plot that they do, that they even cut down on that. They cut down on that because you can't just be out here buying guns and then reporting the gun stolen, and then buying another gun and reporting the gun stolen. You can only really get away with that like once or twice, depending on who you are. And especially you as a black person, the second you do it, oh, that looks super suspicious at that point. Oh, that looks very, very suspicious. Okay. 2, if the person gets caught with a registered gun, what the person will do, they will find if there's any sort of connection to you. So, okay, you say your gun was stolen, but we found the gun on somebody and you work with that person. So it seems like you didn't the gun actually wasn't stolen. The cops have locked people up for this. What they call strawman purchasing, strawman firearm purchasing. They lock black people up for that all the time. Okay. So those are tactics that they crack down on. What they try to do is they try to say like, oh my God, these guns are coming from out of state, so there's nothing that we can do. A lot of these guns, and I did a broadcast about this in Chicago too, a lot of these guns get recycled back in the community through the police. Now, what the police used to do back in the day is they used to just drop off crates of firearms and weapons and all that stuff. Not just in Chicago, but other neighborhoods as well too. They can't really do that because everybody got a camera now. So you walking around, people gonna record, oh, look, this is a crate of guns right here. They can't really do that anymore. So now they have to be sneaky. It was like a couple years ago, I think in 2019, I believe, on the west side, it was like 3 a.m. Someone who works for the FBI, he was driving his FBI truck. Is like a minivan or whatever the case is. In a gas station, goes in to get gas, leaves the car unlocked and running. And then the car allegedly gets stolen and they lose thousands of dollars worth of firearm, ammunition, ballistic vest, and all of that stuff. So they do little stuff like this. If you guys don't know about the story, and I broke all this down in a previous broadcast I did well too. Exactly, Nate, exactly. The trains. I was just about to bring that up. If you guys know the story about these trains that had thousands of dollars worth of firearms, ammunition, and everything, that just allegedly, and these people who robbed the train had no idea, according to them, that there would be thousands of dollars worth of firearms in there. They weren't guarded. There were no cameras. None of this stuff was caught. None of this stuff was caught. And they got away with thousands of dollars worth of stolen, quote unquote, stolen firearms. So that's what they do in Chicago now. They set little situations up for the criminals to steal the firearms, because they pretty much cut down every way you can like legally buy and then sell it under the table and give it away under the table. All of that, Fox News, they peddle that stuff out a lot. Oh, they're selling it under the table. But for people who actually know, that's not really what's happening. What's really happening is a lot of the times, they're setting up situations where the guns are getting stolen, and then you have a lot of you got cops. You have literally cops and ex-military who have been caught selling the actual guns to people. They've been caught selling guns to people too. So those are really the reasons why the guns keep getting recirculated in the community. Okay, because they can't really leave the boxes of crates out in the open anymore like they used to. Okay, exactly. They want it to get stolen. They want it to get stolen. I want you to think, if you had a laptop in a car, you run to, first off, who goes to the gas station to get gas and leaves the car running at the pump? I've never seen that before. I have never seen anybody pull up at a pump, leave the car running, nobody else in the car, leave the car running, and then go in the gas. It's different. Some people pay at the pump and get the gas at the pump, but you leave the car running and then go in the gas station. I just want to get some popcorn, a drink, or whatever. And then we get a Red Bull, and then and then it's like 2:00 in the morning, and you got thousands of dollars worth of military grade firearms in the vehicle, and you just left it running at the pump, unlocked too, at the pump. Seems very suspicious. And of course, they never found it. They never ever found it. They got trackers on all these new cars. I want you guys to think about that. When you go to a car dealership, as you guys are still making your car notes off, this is how, when they repo your car, they know where to come and get it from, because they got trackers all up in the cars that you guys are paying notes on. If you don't pay your car note enough time, it don't matter where you try to hide that car, they will find that car. They know exactly where that car is. They know where that car is. So you mean the FBI car that had thousands of dollars worth of firearms, they can't track the car and find out the people who stole it? That just seems kind of suspicious to me. Seems kind of suspicious. Yeah. It says, my mom went through more loops than a lion at a circus, but they get guns like it's free candy at the dentist office. Exactly. You know, at the dentist office, they be passing people popsicles like, oh, thank you very much. Here's a popsicle and a little coloring book. I remember when you would go to the dentist when I was a kid, they would give you like a little like a lollipop or whatever piece of candy, and then they would give you they would give me like a little coloring book and then a few little crayons. They make it super easy for these MDs to go get guns. Black people, you gotta sign paperwork. You gotta get your blood type tested. You gotta like prick yourself, and then you gotta put your fingerprint and blood in the thing, and you gotta do all of these things. Your whole family gotta get a background check. They run your credit score and everything like that. They check your job history. They go through your house, make sure your house is clean. Your rent is up to code. I mean, your car note's up to code. They gotta check your car, make sure your car's been washed, the oil's been changed, and everything for you to get a firearm. For these people, they can come in and get a firearm. Oh, you just turned 18. Well, we have this new bazooka that just came in. I can sell it to you at a discount. Like, they'll do stuff like that for them. Now, black people legally buying anything, you got to go through all of these loops and holes and all of that stuff. It's very difficult for us. Okay. He said, why are people associating violence in any way? There is no such thing as necessary evil. Trust me, the devil does not need advocating. Yep, okay. Not a bazooka. Yeah, a bazooka. Listen. They will go and they can buy guns like this is Grand Theft Auto. Now, I don't know if you guys have played Grand Theft Auto. You know, if you play Grand Theft Auto, you can go into the gun store and you can get vests, bazookas, grenades, rocket launchers, machetes, all of that stuff. You can walk out like a whole little one-man army when you go out the store in GTA, and they do that all of the time for PC people, in the words of our brother Torian. Okay, they do that all of the time for them. How do you have loaded AR-15s and ammunition and all of this stuff? You, as a black person, you buy 2 firearms and you got the police sitting up there outside of your house in a van. You got 2 firearms, you got a little box of 9mm rounds, and you got the police sitting up there watching you at work. Everywhere you go, he's on the move. was on the move. I'm not sure why he bought 2 guns. They could be years apart. You buy 2 guns. You're like, he has 2 guns. I don't know what he's planning. I'm not sure. 2 guns? Why do you need 2 guns? You only have 2 hands. I mean, I don't know. You need 2 hands to shoot. I don't know. This seems kind of suspicious. What are you up to? You got a damn MD, just turned 18 years old. I'd like to buy an AR-15. And I want it customized. I want a machete on my AR-15, just like they have in the video games too. I want that. Can I get the one that they have on Call of Duty? I really want that one. I want the one with the grenade launcher, just to pop, and then bam, a grenade flies out. That would be cool. I'm using it for burglars. I want that one for burglars. In case somebody, breaks into my house or anything like that, I want to blow them up with a grenade. Well, of course, sir. Here you go. Here's your grenade launcher AR-15. Okay. Just take it. You don't even need to run the background checks or nothing like that. I understand. You want to protect your family. You want to protect your home in this country. I get you. You don't worry about it. Come back when you have more money. You can buy anything you want. We're like family here, brother. We're like family. You as a black person, you come in there. I would like to buy that little pocket knife. What do you need a pocket knife for? Who you trying to rob, thug? You're not buying a pocket knife from me, thug. You gotta get out of here. That's the struggles we go through. Okay, we got people in crisis in Jackson, Mississippi, and then you have immigrants all over the country, and you got the black mayor of Chicago saying that Chicagoans need to donate to the immigrants over here, and you got suspected people getting deleted all over the place. We got going on 200 people in here. I'm hoping that you guys have left a like. This has been a very great educational broadcast. I hope you guys have left a like and subscribe if you guys have not done so. We're going to be getting out of here soon. Let's give a shout out to some of the people. John Hart, B1 bro. We have Tahuti, I believe that's how you pronounce it. Jokery, B1 to all of you guys. B1 to everybody. I've already said it. PD Chicago, B1, hashtag B1 to every single person in here. Off code V2, shots on target. B1 to all of you guys. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Willie Jones. No end in sight. You said no end in sight. Distractions on top of distractions. It says pushing us off our land. Yes, this is our land. This is the land this is our people's land, and we have to fight for it. V Maltz by and enjoy that. Thank you very much. Okay, please make sure you guys leave a like, share this on your various social media platforms, and come back to the channel. Okay. But I'm gonna be getting out of here, guys. You guys enjoy the rest of your Memorial Day. Enjoy the rest of your holiday. If you guys have been off today, I hope you guys have a good day. If you guys had to work, I hope you guys made that money. I will be catching you guys Thursday. Coming up, same time, 7 o'clock too. Also, Friday, I have a Twitter space that what is Black American Culture 2, part 2, on Friday. Speaking of which, let me see, not next week, really, but where I'm having a big sale on the merchandise. The link is in the description below. That's happening on the 17th through 19th, I believe. This is happening in a couple weeks. The big merchandise sale, free shipping, and then we're having more sales. We're having a lot of sales coming up this year, a lot of sales back to back. So free shipping is going to be our first big sale. Ending the year off, our first big sale is going to be a free shipping sale coming up, so you guys don't want to miss that. I will be making further announcements to that. We have more products and merchandise coming out with that as well too. Also, if you guys want to donate to help the people in Jackson, Mississippi, I have some like little organizations, GoFundMe's, Cash Apps, and all of that stuff that you guys can donate to in the description below. So you guys can go there. You guys can, make your contributions, your donations. If you guys are around the area, you guys can volunteer. That's very helpful as well too, because our people need our help. Our people need our help, and they can't. Just like early in the broadcast, I said Joe Biden doesn't want to help. They can't rely on anybody except us. So it's up to us to help us, but we can do it. We can do it. This is not our first crisis. Unfortunately, this won't be our last crisis, but as FBA people, we are very resilient people. We will get through this together. If we're on code together, we will get through this. All right. I will say you guys have a good weekend, or I guess week. Today's Monday, technically. You guys have a good rest of your day. I will catch you guys this Thursday. Be safe, family out there. Please be safe. It's dangerous. We got a lot going on, but be safe. Black first to everybody in the chat room. Thank you guys for watching.